In today's video, I will show you how you can play the Cayo Perico Heist 2 times, skipping the ridiculous 3 hours and 15-minute cooldown. This will be a great method to try if you play the Cayo Heist solo, but you could also use this method to run this back-to-back with a friend, in turn making you both millions of dollars. If you're going to enjoy this video or find it useful in some way, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to never miss a video. And without any further ado, let's jump straight into it. To begin, I will go through some of the requirements that you guys will need, and I will also give you guys a sort of breakdown on how to do this. So if you guys did watch one of my recent videos on the Clucking Bell Farm raid, essentially this will be the exact same method, but with the Cayo Perico Heist. Essentially what we will be doing is having two GTA Online characters, and both of these characters will need to earn the Kosatka. Once you have completed the Cayo Perico Heist on one of these characters, you then can switch over to the second character, and then start another heist and do them both completely solo. So before you guys even think about doing this method, I would definitely recommend saving up a few $1 million, because the Kosatka is definitely not cheap, and I do believe that you guys will also need to earn the casino penthouse. Luckily enough, if you guys have millions of dollars on your main character, as long as these millions are in the bank, you can share this money between both of your different characters, which makes it kind of easy to start setting up. Now I switched my character to my second character just to get everything set up first, and honestly my second character is pretty underdeveloped. I have not really invested anything into him, so I will need to buy a full new Kosatka, and I also had to buy a casino penthouse to get a VIP membership. Now I'm not entirely sure if I had to do that or not, but I just did it anyway. Just remember, my second character has never played the Cayo Perico Heist. Now unfortunately, because it is the first ever time this character has played the Cayo Perico Heist, I now have to go through all of these different cutscenes, which honestly takes so long, and if many of you guys are doing the same thing as me, then you will probably be in the same situation. After a long time of just waiting for this cutscene, I can now go to the Warstock Cash and Carry website and purchase a new Kosatka. Now I decided to get the Sparrow as my Moonpool vehicle. I just believe this will help me so much in these setup missions, but this of course comes with a massive cost of nearly $2 million extra, and already this Kosatka will cost me just over $4 million. In my opinion, I would definitely say that this $4 million is worth it. Just think, we will be having two heists instead of just playing one and waiting 3 hours, so that is the way that I really justify this. At long last, I entered the Kosatka and I got hit with another cutscene, and in true GTA Online fashion, it is unskippable. When this cutscene finally ended, I could then start setting up the Cayo Perico Heist for the first time on this character, and just remember, the initial heist on any new character will be for the Madrazo files. I don't know about you guys, but on the first ever setup mission for the Cayo Perico Heist, when you guys are scoping out the target, I find this mission probably one of the worst things to do. Obviously you will have nothing scoped out, so depending on how you guys like to play the Cayo Perico Heist, I would definitely recommend scoping some different things out. For example, for me, I like to scope out the drainage tunnel. I think this is by far one of the best ways to do the Cayo Perico Heist, but after quite some time of just driving around the Cayo Island, I got everything that I needed and just returned to Los Santos. I then just went ahead and completed the rest of the setups. If you guys want the best Cayo Perico setup, or at least the best in my opinion, I have made a video on this before, and this will just involve us going to the airport, collecting a bunch of secondary loot, and then finally entering the compound. But after a good half an hour of setting up everything, I now have the finale on my second character, so I will just play through the heist as usual, use the drainage tunnel to get into the compound, steal some of the bonus loot inside the main office, and eventually get around to collecting the Madrazo files. So with this first time playthrough, we can see that the Madrazo files are a very nice $1.1 million, so I would definitely say this is worth it just on this fact alone. And after some more time, I eventually just escaped. We got another massive cutscene, which you guys have probably seen many times before, and because I also did the elite challenge for the heist with full loot bags, 0 hacks failed, and completing in under 15 minutes, I got an additional $100,000 on top of this. So just from this one heist, which was the first heist, I made $1.6 million, which honestly is pretty good playing solo. Now at this point, if I stayed on this second character, I would have a massive 3-hour cooldown for the Cayo Perico Heist. So all I will do now is just switch over to my main character, which already has the Kosatka and all of that good stuff, and begin setting up the whole heist again. And you will see here, when I spawn in and run over to the planning board, I can now just start planning the whole heist again. So guys, with this method, you will be able to essentially just have 2 heists instead of just playing one and then waiting 3 hours or something. Now there is of course one massive downside to doing this this method, and that will be the initial costs of buying a new Kosatka. But if you guys have the money to do this, and you keep playing both of these heists back to back, you will make that money back in no time whatsoever. Just remember, after completing the second heist on either one of your characters, you will still have a cooldown. So in this time, I would probably suggest playing the Clucking Bell Farm raid and doing the swap character method on that instead, as every time you guys complete that, you will make $500,000, and that will also be a great way to get your money back as well. I would also suggest playing the Clucking Bell Farm raid to save up a few $1,000,000 to buy your second Kosatka, especially if you guys do not really have the money right now. Just remember, the Clucking Bell Farm raid can be done solo and does not need any money to start it, which in turn will make it a great method to pair when you have a KO cooldown. You can just do a few of them on each character, and then after some time you can switch back to your main character or your second character, and you should be able to play the Cayo Perico heist again. Just remember that the Cayo Perico targets will change, and if you guys do them every single 3 hours or something, you will most likely have some of the worst primary targets, so you will not make the most money possible from these Cayo Perico heists. But honestly, I don't really even think that matters. As long as you guys have full loot bags and get the elite challenge, you'll be making pretty good money, especially doing this solo. Now altogether, just doing this method, I spent just under $7.5 million, which is honestly kind of insane to even think about. But because this is for a Cayo Perico heist on both characters, I will most likely make this money back in just a few days time, and from there I will just be profiting every single time. I mean, already just from playing both of these heists, I made just a little over $2.7 million. Now the next time I do this, it will be a little bit lower most likely because of not having the Madrazo files, but already we have knocked down the amount I have spent to a little over $4.5 million. So with a few more of these Cayo Perico heists, or even just throwing in the Clucking Bell Farm raids, I could easily make back the money that I have spent. Once again, if you guys are trying to get a new Kosatka, or even just a Kosatka for your main character first, I would definitely suggest playing through the Clucking Bell Farm raid and doing this on 2 characters at once, or at least playing through one and then the other. Over some time, this will make you guys a lot of money, and you should be able to get a Kosatka on both characters. Even just getting the Kosatka on your first character from the Clucking Bell Farm raid, and then from there you can play through the Clucking Bell Farm raid and a Cayo Perico heist to make even more money, until eventually you can buy your second Kosatka. The only other downside to doing this method is that it is kind of time consuming. Obviously there is no glitches involved, it is pretty much just a money method, and honestly I had my doubts trying this. I honestly thought this might not even work, but luckily enough it does actually work. And just keep in mind, if you guys have a friend who also has 2 Kosatkas, and then you yourself have 2 Kosatkas as well, you can essentially just play 4 heists. The only problem doing that would be the takes of the heist. You might not get as much money from doing that. Honestly, this really just depends on what you guys get as your secondary targets, but that will be another great way to make even more money and in turn play even more heists. But anyways guys, if you went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in some way, shape or form, make sure to leave a like. I really appreciate your support, and if you guys are new here, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.